And
hello, YouTube.
Face two.
Hello,
YouTube.
Share
And
it on
Instagram.
Oh, well, hold on. We've got
I don't know how to do
this.
that.
The little share button.
Share. Leave site.
No.
No.
Just
copy.
I guess just copy. I don't know why it wants.
Okay, I'm going to share this on Facebook so our Facebook viewers
Can follow.
can follow us.
Follow us along, Facebook viewers.
Hi, who just joined?
Ramona.
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 Hi, Maeve.
Yes, hello, babe. We miss you.
We're live.
Did you watch the episode last night, Ramona? We will be discussing it.
Yes, today.
What does she say? Can you?
Hi.
You can't follow.
She's giving kisses. Hi,
Aw.
Q.
Hey, Q.
And she says, hi, love, please.
We love you too.
Aw.
Talking about Westworld, Season 2, Episode 5.
Woo.
Okay. That is being shared.
We're sharing
Awesome.
it.
So let's just dive on in.
Welcome to
You're
our.
not on the screen.
Oh,
Back up.
Gotta back the F up.
I'm gonna back up. But welcome to our discussion of Westworld Season 2. Today we'll be discussing Episode 5.
Akane no Mai.
Yes, that's what I cannot say.
It means red dance.
Ooh, the red dance.
Red dance.
Ooh.
So basically, what do we want to talk about?
We start from the beginning.
The very, very beginning. What a wonderful place to start.
Always start from the beginning.
My neck.
What?
Your neck, Ramona.
Are we upside down or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Put your camera this way.
Yeah, turn your phone.
You see? I turned my phone and it's perfect.
no. And it's perfect.
So the host bodies in the water were taken out of the water by Delos. This isn't my water. And their data, a third of them are wiped. The data is gone. And Teddy is among these hosts. So it is confirmed
Teddy!
that Teddy was in the water. And
Poor
who put
Teddy.
him there? Poor Teddy, indeed. This episode, Dolores erases Teddy, basically, or tries to, like, change his programming.
It sounded like they wanted to burn him.
Kind of like the flies that she brought up. Like,
But it sounded like you wanted to burn him. So I think it's interesting that she's supposed to kind of burn him, but actually it's a full-on body there.
I think what she did was she took his data and is either saving it for later or put it in a different body
Save it for
to
later.
sort of like,
Save it for later.
maybe his body couldn't handle the changes, the reprogramming. I don't know.
Just
Yeah.
don't know.
Or it's just that after she changed him, which we see at the end of this episode, maybe he just started malfunctioning and she's like, he's a goner. Can't use him anymore at all.
He's just
dispose of him.
useless. But also,
She does love him though.
Yeah.
Does she? I mean, that was
Does she?
the longest breakup sequence I've ever seen throughout the episodes. It's kind of like things aren't gonna work, but sometimes you can make things work. But I know it's not gonna work. Let's see.
Well, I
Like,
think
and
she's
they had,
fighting
like,
for
good-
him.
I think she had goodbye sex with him.
She had breakup sex.
Yes, but like she knew it was a breakup. He did not know it was a breakup.
He was like, yes!
Yes.
Finally!
and little did he know.
Yeah,
You
poor
know,
Teddy. He just couldn't, he wasn't quite cut out. But I think she wants him to go with her to the Valley Beyond, and I think she's trying to force it physically. But the main thing of this episode wasn't about Dolores and Teddy. It was about Shogun World.
Shogun World.
Yay.
This is the third part we've seen in the Westworld universe-ish thing, So that's
Third park.
Yeah, we've seen Westworld. We've seen Raja World.
Oh, yeah.
Shogun World.
Indian
Yeah.
World.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't see that much of it, but we did see
But
it.
we were there for a brief moment, so that counts. It's like when you have a layover somewhere and you've never been in that country, that counts.
That's true.
So
Yes.
they see their same storyline being played out, and they
Oh.
see their twins.
I thought that was so interesting, and it should show you kind of like too that Westworld is a little cheap.
Yeah.
They really
You try writing 300 stories in 2 weeks.
but still, you always go back and like rework the programs, and
It's
rework
kind
the
of
stories.
interesting that like Maeve is one of the hosts from Westworld that is sort of like on her own regaining her own consciousness, and her twin in Shogun World is doing the same thing because she chose in the storyline her sort of Clementine person. She was supposed to give her away And instead, she killed the man that was trying to take her. And then, what's his name?
Sizemore.
Sizemore is like, she's not supposed to do that. So she's making conscious decisions, and it's the Maeve of that world. So that's interesting. Is there something going on there? Are they all on their own path to the center of their mazes? And it's interesting that Shogun World is like more intense than Westworld.
So Westworld is where you go just to like warm up
compared to Shogun World. So these hosts have been through more trauma. If trauma is the thing that pushed Dolores to reach her center, these hosts should technically be more further along in that process.
That is an interesting point.
Yes.
It's interesting. And then it is revealed that Maeve has secret mind powers. And she's able to psychically tell people what to do. So this, to me, obviously, she's just connected to that mesh network, the Wi-Fi, and she's able to tap into that and kind of control everybody, which sort of makes her more powerful than Dolores.
Yeah.
So if they're ever going head to head, she can sort of take Dolores' whole army in one mind thought and turn them against her. Because Dolores is using that brute force and sort of being like mean to her followers, like forcing them physically and rewiring their programming to make them follow her. Maeve is just sort of
like, because there are bunch of counterparts in Shogun World that correspond to Westworld. Which one is the Shogun? Is it Wyatt?
I think that it is. I think
that's the
Shogun,
counterpart.
Yeah,
Shogun.
I think Dolores' counterpart is the Shogun, the guy who burnt off all his followers' ears so that the witch couldn't mutilating her own people to get them to follow her. I think that's her counterpart, and I think she'll have a downfall because of that.
Is the show foreshadowing in a way? Because Maeve's counterpart did kill the Wyatt counterpart, so
exactly.
Will Maeve kill Dolores?
I think yes.
And also, will Maeve put kind of even torture Maeve's daughter like the Shogun did right in front of
Yeah, Dolores might use that to try to push Maeve.
I'm wondering if that's a factor too, because Maeve's counterpart didn't have a daughter, right?
Well, she's considered that one.
So it's like a Clementine.
So maybe like that is a factor in why Maeve is so different and
gaining it faster. She's been through more trauma because it's her own daughter.
Right. Yeah. Well, Maeve's not really thinking about I want to conquer the world. She just wants
her daughter.
She wants to be what belongs to her. Yeah. Like it's a lot.
She wants to live among the humans. I think, and Dolores wants to be.
Yeah, Maeve's just like, I just want my life back. I just want to be happy.
All want our lives
back. This is a big question. If Maeve is able to tap into the mesh Wi-Fi network, and she's a host, so she's able to do that, do we remember in season 1 when Ford froze everybody just using his mind powers, and we were like, what was that? And then it was never spoken of again. Does that mean that at that point, that was a host version of Ford? How else would Ford be able to get into that network if he was not part of that network? This makes me think that there might be a double
Isn't that
of
weird?
Ford. And that the real Ford maybe did die, but his consciousness was uploaded into host bodies and maybe multiple ones. And this is how he's able to connect to the network. His consciousness might still be in the network, and he's talking to the Man in Black, jumping from different bodies because he's able to connect from one place and talk through them. Just that. And it might be like Bernard, all those bodies of Bernard, there might be a bunch of bodies of Ford.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
He also, this would explain how he's controlling all the hosts through the Man in Black's storyline. Like how he got all of the people to kill themselves in a circle all at the same time. How he was able to control Teddy and tell Teddy not to kill the Desperados, is that what they're called?
The Confederates?
The Confederados.
Desperado. Yeah. He might have told Teddy not to kill him because that person played such an important role in pushing William forward on his own narrative that Ford wants him to go on. So this could all be sort of part of that.
Interesting. Different layers that you didn't think had any significance. You just figured he's the man who built it, so why shouldn't he be able to control it?
Right, because I remember thinking it was weird when I saw it. I was just like, oh, how did he do that without speaking? We've never seen that before. But I just kind of at the time was like, oh, well, he's in control. He
layers of hosts.
It's crazy. May sort of basically brought that back into light. Yeah. And then Dolores wants to get back on the train. She wants to go all the way to the opening of the park where the guests enter through the door.
The door is the entrance of the park.
Yes. The door is where the train goes, and Dolores is trying to get there. And this door that Ford keeps telling William to go to, that was at the beginning of his story, not the end. Right. That's, I think, where they will meet, and they need to go back to in order for him to sort of discover his humanity or whatever.
Discover you on Side William.
Clementine did some interesting things this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of freaking out.
Yeah, and she was starting to remember.
Yeah.
She saw her new Clementine person playing out her
Sweetwater.
role in Sweetwater.
Yeah.
And she was saying the lines along with her.
This is kind of how Maeve did to her counterpart, though. You know?
Yeah. But if she's completely, like, she was, like, lobotomized.
I don't think she was lobotomized.
Basically, though.
I don't think so. I think she just got awoken. Like, I think Dolores is controlling her, but I don't think she really knew why. And, like, right there, it was kind of like, oh, man, this is, like, blowing my world. Like,
well, they did. They went up her nose and, like...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They lobotomized her.
Oh,
so
man.
how is, like, what? What is going on with Clementine?
Yeah, it was weird because she didn't say anything outside of that. You know, she was just repeating the lines and then kind of, like, just left. Like, okay.
I was hoping maybe somebody has a theory on that. I don't know. I want to know about Clementine. I haven't seen any theories really on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because her scenes are always so quick, and you kind of forget that happens.
That she's even there. It's like, what about Clem?
Yeah. When someone think of Clementine.
So another question is, what did Dolores do to Teddy?
Mm-hmm.
Is she torturing him to sort of like push him to find his center? Or did she reprogram him? Or did she maybe upload pieces of Wyatt into him so that he could help with the rebellion? Like, what the heck did she do with Teddy? And what was the whole significance of the blue tongue cow disease with the flies, that reference, and how his method would be to build a shed and protect them? And she's saying, no, we had to burn them all so that the flies would leave and not want to be near the farm. Right. And it kind of seems like she had to do that to Teddy. And she had to kill a lot of them to get to the valley beyond. So, like, what was the significance of, like, that...
The flies?
Reference? Yeah, that metaphor. It's a metaphor.
I mean, it kind of looks, if we have, like, the literal reference of all the bodies in the water, it kind of looks like it's that, maybe. Yeah. That she's just like, we got to dispose of all the rotten ones.
And but where did the consciousnesses go? The third of them that are wiped, where are those? So there's an interesting theory that I read online that she could have grabbed all that data from those hosts and uploaded it into Abernathy because Delos wants him out of the park. So that was a for sure way out of the park with a bunch of the hosts. And then once out, she could upload them into bodies that were meant for humans to put their consciousnesses in. And that would take those bodies away from the humans.
That's just assuming she does catch up with Abernathy. Because right now, she doesn't have him anymore.
And I think she will. I think she'll find him.
Yeah.
They'll find each other.
Good luck to her.
Well, also just interesting to make a blue tongue reference with the cows and the flies is that that's kind of like Dolores is regaining consciousness, even when we go back to the first episode when she does kill the fly. So
yeah, it's all back to the flies. Yeah. It's like the flies are such a huge symbolic representation of something in this show. And it's just like, is it the innocence?
Was it the flies carrying around the idea of realizing your own consciousness?
Yeah, because she was always saying, I wouldn't hurt a fly, and then she's hurting the flies.
Right.
So maybe even that fly has, like, the disease in it.
She's squashing it.
You know, interesting.
I also, like, I want there to be a reveal. I have a, like, prediction that maybe we will find out that Maeve used to be in Shogun World. That, like, Maeve wasn't always just part of Westworld. Like, they used her code in a different body in Shogun World, and maybe she had a daughter there as well. And that she might be having, she might start to have flashbacks of this now that she's there, and sort of be putting together a whole other story that she wasn't aware of.
Oh, man.
I think that would be cool. I don't really have any, like, proof of that, but I just think that it would be awesome.
That would be a thing to see.
To add even more to her.
Yeah, because honestly, she's, like, the most interesting character to watch right now.
Now you want to watch Maeve. You want to see more Maeve.
Yeah, like Maeve. Come on now. And then Sizemore finds a phone.
Sizemore found a device to help him get out of here. Will he use it?
Is that going to? Obviously, he's going to use it.
Why did he not share with anybody?
Because he's the only human. It's kind of like, oh, we'll take that from you. To keep you here, you know?
Sure.
We'll be taking that. We don't need that.
Download Work for Friends, you know?
And also what's interesting is that, like, now that Maeve can tap into that mesh network, she can probably locate Abernathy, because that's what Bernard was using to find him on the map. Like, he saw exactly where Abernathy was. Now is Maeve the key to finding him? Will Dolores have to work with Maeve? I want to see Dolores go to Shogun World. I think that would be awesome.
That would be
and then
some
have
stuff.
her meet the Shogun.
The Shogun, fortunately, without a top of a head, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, he's dead now.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I want to talk about was the Red Dance, which is the whole title of this episode. And the Maeve counterpart in Shogun World performs this dance at the very end for the Shogun right before she kills him.
Remix song.
It's to a Wu-Tang remix.
Yeah.
And if you notice the choreography, like in the beginning of it, she sort of is taking off her mask. That's like one of the very first moves that she does. And then the moves that she goes through, she does these kind of like flaily things, and then she backs up into reverse and then goes and does those same ones again, representing the loop. I think that like that dance sort of represented Westworld all in like a dance, an interpretive dance.
The interpretive dance of Westworld.
And at the very end of it, she kills him. It's sort of like the red dance is representing all of Westworld, the build up, everything it was built on, and then the end when they rebel and sort of take down those.
So let's see what Maeve will do now with her new friend that is also her.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of fun to talk
New
about.
friend that is also her.
Yes. So let's see where they'll go with.
Another interesting line was when the snake tattoo lady met her counterpart, and the lady had a dragon tattoo, and she was like, the snake can
grow into a dragon.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what does that mean? Is she going to evolve? Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it definitely was an interesting episode. We got to see Shogun World. It was pretty cool. It was sort of like a filler episode to sort of like introduce that, and like it's the mid-season.
Yeah,
so I think like
we're halfway through, guys.
Halfway there.
Yeah,
I think the main point of it was to sort of establish like where Teddy and Dolores are at now, and what their whole relationship meant, and how she felt about it. So
and
now
Maeve tapping into the network.
And
Maeve has some sick Wi-Fi skills.
And so now we're in the end game, and it'll be really exciting to see.
We're still finding out where the door is.
It's gonna get crazy. I'm so excited.
But thank you for watching.
We need to talk about last week's comments. Did we get any?
We did have a couple, yeah.
I thought we talked about that when we got the comments.
Well, because remember we said if we get comments after it's live, then we'll respond to them the next following week.
Oh, I thought we responded. I didn't know we got new comments.
We couldn't have responded to them because we haven't gone live since last time.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying we responded to them in the last video we were on.
Not the ones from the last video, though. Yeah, we got comments after we already went live.
Okay. That's the question.
Where is that video? It's number 4, okay. Which has over 100 views now. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so Firewalker had a crazy theory. Emily, William's daughter, is responsible for Maeve's escape the park narrative from season 1. A lot of people just assume it was Ford or even Arnold somehow, but I think it makes sense for them to give us a twist where it was neither of them. We also know Emily is looking into Delos's projects based on her journal, and she wants to stay in the park despite the danger happening. So I think her having some secret plan herself, separate from Delos and Ford's, makes sense.
That is always on fire.
Yeah, dude.
I could see that.
Yeah, she probably had a lot to do with what's going on.
Yeah, I could see that.
We're so focused on Ford and Arnold and Bernard that we don't.
And they just like randomly introduce this new character. I'm like, whoa.
Obviously, she's got to have like some sort of like significance to this. Firewalker, always paying attention to the details no one else is talking about. Gregorian said it could have been William's wife in the bathtub that maybe was from an earlier failed suicide attempt, which he was able to save her from, which then led her to be put on some form of depression medication. But then further down the line, attempts suicide again, and this time succeeded. It would at least give a reason as to why she was on pills in the first place, for William to then think she must have accidentally taken the wrong pills rather than her usual antidepressants. Or maybe Will's just lying about the pills and covering up the truth for some unknown reason. Or maybe it's not even her wife in that flashback.
Yeah.
All possibilities. I like the first one. I like the fact that she tried twice, and the first time he did save her. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. Because that is a really common thing. Honestly, it's like failed suicide.
Failed suicides, yeah. And then Maximo says, like in the movie, Yul Brynner, why don't they run out of energy?
Why won't you die?
Maybe they're solar powered. And that concludes our live stream. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, please. we will go live every single Monday talking about the latest episode of Westworld.
Yeah, we're really, really close to 1,000 subscribers.
Please
and
subscribe.
once we get to 1,000, we can start monetizing again. And
We'll be a real channel again.
Oh my
so
good mama.
please share this with your friends. Please subscribe. It really makes a difference for us.
Yes, please. And
So-
make sure to check out our Red Nose Day bathtub challenge of coffee that we just put out today. Is to help raise money for Red Nose Day this Thursday. And it is also a video of me in a bathtub full of coffee. So
Yes.
enjoy that.
It was
Let
a lot
you
of
guys
And
fun.
also go watch our Westworld parody.
Go
again.
watch
Yeah.
Westworld
Awesome.
Parody. The description is in the YouTube link below. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, thank you.
Goodbye.